I'm tired.
Me too. Hello, we're live, and it's anything goes, and it's a Valentine special. We're talking about love. How are you, Jason?
Oh, I'm quite well. The snow is fine. This blizzard that they've been talking up for the last week is finally, I think, showing up. It's been slowly building all day, so we'll see. But for now, I have internet and power, so everything's good.
That's great. That's great. I know Cheese, I've got it here somewhere. Cheese Freak was hoping that you would get on because of the storm. But you're here, and that's good. Hello to everyone in the chat. Hope everyone's having a good Sunday and a happy Valentine's, whatever that means to you. Happy Valentine's Day, ladies. Thank you. I was thinking about love today. What is love? You know, is it?
I'm really trying not to break out into song right now.
What is love? You sing it.
Don't hurt me no more.
No more. Yeah. No more. Well, you know what? You make a great point. Love and hurt. It doesn't make sense, does it?
Well, it does. It does.
Love hurts us. Love shouldn't hurt us, should it?
So here's the thing, right? Anything that makes you vulnerable will hurt eventually in some way, right? It's an experience. Pain is just part of the game. The thing is, if you don't feel pain, then you don't feel anything at all anyway. And that is, most humans will tell you that's a terrible way to live, right? Being numb. It's as to experience pleasure, you have to be able to experience pain. You have to have that range. You can't just feel the good things. And when you do, then if you only feel the good things, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, but is that love?
Well, so here's the thing. I would argue English is a very limited language when it comes to love. You know, you go back to, say, Greek, and it has 4 or 5 different words, each one having a slightly different iteration, whereas we just have the word love, and we use the same word for I enjoy eating a good hamburger, right? For that I would with, you know, my relationship with my wife. That word can't mean the same thing. They can't be the same thing, but yet we use the same way. So I would argue that it may be a bigger problem with our language than anything else. I mean, the Worf-Sapir hypothesis we've talked about for a while now. If the language often describes the universe, the way our minds work. Again, like I said, in Greek, there were 4 or 5 different words. So you would be talking about, the love between 2 friends, the love between 2 brothers, the love between lovers, the love for, say, society writ large. Like, there were ways that you could describe it. I heard a rabbinic teaching, they talked about fish love. And what he meant by that was, he's like, do you enjoy fish? He goes, oh, yeah, I love fish. He goes, no, you don't love fish. What you enjoy is eating the fish, right? He's like, there's no actual love there. There is merely your enjoyment of consuming this animal. Well, that's not love for a human being. Love for one to another, it's sacrificial, right? And I think even born in there is the nature of pain. Is that I would argue by its nature, it's sacrificial. And so the problem is, if you're looking for it not to have pain, then what you're not really looking for is love. What you're looking for is fish love. You're looking for something that you enjoy. Again, something that you enjoy doing, but you're not looking for real love. There has to be a sacrifice.
But then again, that goes to what is real love. And I know what you're saying, and because you say you love your wife, but love is not what keeps you together. There's more to your relationship than love. Tom Paul Cajun makes he said, when you don't feel love, after a while you become numb. So, you know, when you kind of fall in love, when you're kind of feeling that love, you got like the spring in your step, you go out, you can hear the birds, you're looking at the place, the sun, and you're loving life, yeah?
Yeah.
But that's all around you anyway. That's always.
But is that love, or is that the enjoyment of love? Or is that love, or is that the enjoyment of love?
Well, why don't you feel it when you're not in? Why do you feel you need a person to feel love? Why can't you love life, love the things around you? Because, you know, relationships for me, there's a lot to it, you know, and there's a lot to love. There's a balance of things, isn't there? There's, you know, understanding, patience, but these are all other things that you need in a relationship. It's not just about love. And so I don't know where I'm going with this, other than I think love comes from within us, about us, and not from another person, and that you can still be happy and love without feeling. If you're feeling the need to be, someone has to make you feel loved. That's a lot to ask for, isn't it?
Okay, so now I get what you're saying, and I think what we have here is I would argue it's the conflation of our society. Our society conflates certain things together, right? And that's the endorphin high. That's the it's the feelings, Patrick. with the
Why
love.
Does it?
Yeah,
it shouldn't. It shouldn't.
Well, but that's the thing is here's the problem. What we have is we've made the feeling, the enjoyment, the temporary high of some things. We've conflated that with love. This is the truest thing I think I've ever said in my life, and I've said this for years to anyone. Love is a decision that you've made. Everything after that are the emotions that come and go with life, right? Like you can enjoy, you know, because like you can be something bad can happen in your day, and you can be eating your favorite hamburger per se, right? And it's just not going to taste as good. Why? Because you are not in the mood to eat it. Or your day could be going great. You could have something that's absolutely trash and it tastes wonderful. So much of our lives are based on the perceptions of the things around us and our expectation of them. The problem is, I think we go into relationships looking for the relationships to fix us or the relationships to make us happy. And that's putting the cart before the horse. You're either in the relationship and then the emotions or something come out of the hard work you've put into it, or otherwise it's doomed to fail, because what you're wanting is to be high off of the person's behavior, whatever the person can provide for you. That's not love. Love is giving. You get out of it because you've put into it, and it's not an ever expanding thing. Sometimes it's like anything else, right? You know, if you're a farmer, you're going to have good years, you're going to have bad years, but you have to keep putting the work in, and over time it builds, and you have something that you've made. That is love. The problem is we are so tied to our desire for pleasure, and that it's like, well, I'm no longer happy. Well, suck it up, buttercup. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. It just means you're unhappy right now. And by the way, your own happiness is your own happiness. Someone can't make you happy, because there are people who've gone out of their ways to try and make other people happy, and it's done nothing but made them miserable. Why? Because happiness is not something that someone can provide for you. It's not a fish you can catch, right? It's something you have to grow and mature. And at times just realize, look, there's just going to be times life is going to suck, and that's just how it is. But that temporary suckiness does not deter from overall happiness or satisfaction.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to find an image. Someone's just said something in the chat which has just triggered off a memory from a long time ago, and I'm just trying to find a little image of it. I've got one. Sorry, I can't talk and do this at the same time. Help me, Jason.
Oh, I'm not. No, you're here.
Yeah,
No, you're on your own on this one.
I'm on my own on this one.
All you need is love, love,
Da,
love.
da, da, da.
Love is all you need. Okay, anyway, but it goes back to the problem is, what is happiness? What is love? These are questions people have always asked. So I don't think it's something new that we're like, hey, this is no. I think if we're never going to figure it out. The problem is it's different for everyone, right? But we do. I think the problem is we do believe that it's like a microwave. Like you push in the right buttons, and you get out of it what you get. And it should be quick, and it should always be the same way. It's not. I think the thing that I've heard the most that always, like, this is my number one pet peeve, is when I hear people say he or she is not the same person I married. Well, okay, they shouldn't be. I mean, I'm sorry, they shouldn't be the same person you married. We're always supposed to be growing and maturing and evolving. You shouldn't want that person to stay the same person you married 15, 20 years ago. That means they never grew, they never learned, they never became a better person. The trick is to grow together, not apart. And that only happens if you make an actual conscious choice to grow together, to mature together.
That's a difficult one, though, isn't it? Because we do change. And do you think getting together early, people grow? People who childhood sweethearts, do you think they grow individually, or do you think they grow as their own? This is what someone mentioned. I don't know if you remember these little Lovey's cartoons. It took me back because my parents used to have one, a few of these at home. I used to look through them.
I never got these commercials or these cartoons. Like, don't mean we have these too. I've never understood. I'm like, there are these two naked people running around. Like, how is this appropriate? You know, what are these two naked people running around doing that, you know? But so here's the thing. Your question, I think, is great. I think you could argue it's easier for two younger people maybe to grow together because they're still in that mode and they're sort of in that mindset when they come together so they're kind of continuing what was already going versus maybe someone who comes to it later in life. But I don't think it's easier, right? I think they're already in that pattern, so maybe continuing the pattern is easier, but that doesn't make the actual growth any easier. It doesn't make the decisions any easier or less hard. So it's hard either way. The trick is, I think the problem is you also can't necessarily have an escape hatch. I think the problem is in our culture divorce is so easy that things are going bad. I'll just bail out. Now again, we're not talking about abuse or anything like that, but it just seems like a lot of people it's like, well, it's getting hard, I'll just bounce. It may be hard for a year or two or three or four, but if a few bad years does not destroy 20, 30, 40, or 50 years, right? This is, I don't care if it's love, your career, religion, Bigfoot, I don't care what it is. This is the one statement that I can make that applies to everything in life. At least in my life, I found this to be true. You can only get out of something what you put into it. You can't harvest what you don't sow. That's it. The problem is we want to not put something. We don't want to put the work into a relationship, right? And we don't want to put the work into it. So when it falls apart, we're all like, "But I don't understand why it fell apart. I don't know. Did you spend as much time on the relationship as you did at work? Did you spend as much time on the relationship as you did playing video games or whatever your hobby is? If your hobby is, and don't get me wrong, if your hobby is smoking brisket, I'm your friend. But did you spend as much time with on your relationship as you did at the bar? I'm sorry, there isn't a single couple that I've known, mentored, worked with whose relationship fell apart, that when you looked at them, that they weren't trying to make it work. They were trying to live their own happiness. They weren't willing to give up maybe something that made them individually happy to make themselves happy. They didn't put the time in. And the problem is, entropy. I'm sorry, I'm a big believer in entropy. It's like you have to take this into account. We can't get into something we don't put into it, right? We can't get out of it. And the worst part is physics tells us we're never going to get out everything we put in, right? So that's the problem is they want more out of something than they're putting in, and that is the worst way to look at it. It's completely reverse. You're never going to get out what you put into something, but so whatever you put into it, you have to put in more to get anything back. And the trick is when you do it long enough, when you set it up long enough, then yeah, you've prepared it and it's better at the end. But there's going to be times when you're going to think you're the only one doing it because you're short-sighted and you're limited. You don't know what the other person's putting into it. You don't know what they're going through. You can't. The problem is if you're not putting in the work, you're never going to get anything out. And so everyone's like, I don't know why I'm not happy. Because you're not doing the work to be happy. In fact, what you're doing is you're pursuing very short-sighted and temporal gratification. And therefore, what you're sacrificing is happiness. Right? It's like, okay, so I told you, I ordered these. They finally came in the other day. $5 off of Amazon. They're bubblers. I want to try and make mead. I've never had mead, and I found out it's really easy to make. Right? It just takes some raw honey, water, and like you're in baker's yeast, and you're done. And apparently, there's like a 3 or 4 day mead. Like it's like that was the way that was like the commoner's mead. So I want to make it. I want to make this much of it. I actually stole one of Texas whiskey bottles here. I'm gonna make this much mead. That's it. I'm not a big drinker. We've talked about that, but it's like I want to put the time into it to do it right because that's it. I want to make it. I want to put in the time. It's like, but if I don't do it the right way, I'm just gonna have honey water, right?
Yeah. No, you need to put it in, like you say. You've got to put it in to get something out. Patrick Vaughan wants me to be his Valentine. But
Patrick, I'm hurt that you didn't ask me.
But look, and Patrick Noble as well.
Wow. Okay, now that's just hurtful.
I know. They didn't ever ask you. Did they not email you? That's terrible. That's terrible.
I'm hurt. But you know what is a good compensation for not being both Patrick's Valentine, the two Pats.
The two Pats.
Exactly. Is the Snyder Cut, the last trailer for the Snyder Cut for Justice League came out today. So happy.
What's that? You
don't know that? Okay. By the way, I think it's Strangeland. My definition, I think it may not be Strangeland. My definition is love is a choice that you make. That's the definition. Now, explaining that is the rest.
Love is the longest definition. Yeah, but we know everything. We know everything now.
Exactly.
Better to know everything than just a bit.
I just fixed all y'all's relationships, so we're done. I want to hear anybody, but it's like I didn't know. We fixed it. We fixed it here.
I think we have. Yeah.
Go and live your lives with happiness. No, so okay, so Justice League came out a few years ago. Superman, Batman, The Flash, right? That's the Justice League. That's DC's version of the Avengers. Well, the thing is, Zack Snyder, the guy who did 300, he's the one that DC was going to relaunch, and they wanted to do the Marvel thing and have all the characters in one movie. So they went to Zack Snyder. He did Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman. Well, he had this idea, and due to DC not liking the way or the returns they were getting on the Zack Snyder version, they actually took out Zack Snyder at the end, took Joss Whedon, the guy who did the Avengers, and they put him in. And Joss Whedon went and did a bunch of reshoots. He re-edited a bunch of stuff, right? And the version that came out in 2017, that's the Justice League we got. And a lot of people, myself included, is like, look, it's fine, but it feels like a Frankenstein movie because it's clearly two different movies crammed together. Like two different rival visions sort of shoved into one movie. Because what what Snyder wanted to do was very, very, very different from what Joss Whedon ended up doing. And so fans have for years petitioned for, because there was this story that Zack Snyder's cut existed somewhere. Truth be told, that's not exactly the way it was, but Warner Brothers, when they're doing this HBO Max, that's their streaming service, they went back to Zack Snyder and said, okay, we want you to put out the Snyder cut for Justice League, because it's a very different film. And so they did like $70 million worth of reshoots and CGI work and all that, and it's finally coming out. And so we get things like Jared Leto's Joker from like the Suicide Squad actually talking to Ben Affleck's Batman in the future. I've always thought that Jared Leto's Joker has been underappreciated. So it's going to be the original version. We get to see Darkseid, Granny Goodness is in it, Desaad is in it. Steppenwolf looks awesome. We're getting the black suit Superman, because when he came back, he was supposed to be wearing what's called the solar suit, which is the black Superman suit with a silver symbol on it. So I am just like, you could tell from the original trailer, like there was all this stuff between the Flash and Cyborg that was completely left out of the Joss Whedon film, like entirely, and it's all back into it. So it's 4 hours long, and I am absolutely stoked.
Brilliant. I hope you enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not into all that stuff. I did, I've said before, but I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just a girl thing. I don't know. There's probably lots of girls who like stuff like that.
Oh, there are.
Yeah, I know. There's a huge following, isn't there?
Yeah.
Of stuff like that. And Dog, I've just finally made it. It's the 4th season of Marvel's S.H.I.E.L.D. Whatever that is.
Yeah, so after the Avengers, so Greg Clark was he was played Agent Coulson in the movies. He was sort of this big unifying thing in the films, and they did a show for him called Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The problem is the show's good. The show got better as it went. The problem is at some point, like the movie division, they kind of separate. They kind of went their own direction. I liked the show. The show was really good. It just wasn't connected the way it was supposed to be, right? Like they wanted them to be hand in hand, and you can see they tried it, but they couldn't make it work. So it's sad, but it's over. I hope we get Coulson back eventually in the movies, but hopefully the Marvel Disney Plus things seem to be doing a better job of tying everything together. Like the new WandaVision stuff that's coming out, I'm enjoying. It is absolutely tied into the movies a lot more, so we'll see.
Okay. Ray Doe here wants to say, Jason, you can be my Valentines just for 10 minutes though. She's old, running out of time.
I understand.
Or short of time. Sorry, you're not running out of time. I didn't mean to say it like that. Going back to love, if you don't love yourself, aren't right with yourself, or happy in your own skin, a relationship probably won't work. That's right. If you can't love yourself, how can you love anybody else?
Yeah. The trick, though, I would argue, is being a person that you would love. The problem is we try to love ourselves with our contradictions and our failures, and instead of improving ourselves, we're like, well, we're trying to love ourselves on our worst day, when our worst days are supposed to be the things that drive us to be better. And that's the problem. Is that because I'm sorry, every drug addict and alcoholic I've ever met loved the drugs and the alcohol way more than making themselves better. So the problem is we want to love ourselves despite our flaws, when instead we should, I mean, there are things I'm never going to fix about myself, and I understand that, but there's things I can fix. I have to work on.
Yeah, you have to work on it. I think we're all like that, aren't we? I'm pretty sure we don't care for ourselves as much as we care for our friends. We take on things. We sometimes don't say no. We just yes, we'll do that. We run ourselves down. Do we take enough care of ourselves? Really? I don't think we do.
Maybe we don't. No, we don't. I agree. Completely agree. Well, and let me define self-care though as improving you as a person. It's a conscious choice. The problem is that I think the problem is most people view self-care as I want to get more things for myself. I want to take more time off. It's like making life easier is not self-care because
it's not like having a bath
yeah.
with candles and stuff like that. It's developing, isn't it? I think it has to be about developing yourself or learning or something like that.
One of my favorite truths comes out of I've used it before, but one of my favorite truths comes out of Buddhism. It's the guitar string, right? If it is too, if you pull it, if you tune it too taut, it'll snap, but too loose and it will not play.
Yeah, it sounds a bit rubbish, won't it? It's anything goes, Joe. So yeah.
And hold on, we'll get back to the Hallmark
all the time.
And let's go from Comic-Con back to the Hallmark Channel, and then let's combine the two. WandaVision, right? Great. I'm enjoying it. A lot of people don't understand how to watch television anymore, right? Because we just binge everything. And so what they're doing is they're building on this story, and it's where it's going. I'm really appreciating because it's sort of begging that question: what is love, right? Where is the line between love and obsession? Where does and what does actually loving someone mean? I think there's a lot of that really built into that story, and I'm enjoying it.
They just seem to me, to be love is not something just to associate with relationships and because there's all these other factors involved. I don't know. I think about, unconditional love and that the pressure of people put with love, using love when it's not about love. I don't know. I think we're really mixed up. We can be really mixed up and confused, especially when we're younger as well. Like you say, are you with someone because you're insecure? That's not love. You're loving the need. You're needing. It's the need that you want. The hole that it's filling. Whatever is. I probably doesn't say it like that, but you're trying to, get something.
I wouldn't have gone there. If
I know. I didn't mean that.
And now I'm like, yeah.
And I should have just not said anything, shouldn't I?
The hole that needs filling.
Why did you? Don't say that. I just said that.
I'm just saying. Well, but so here's the thing, right?
Here we go. Do you want to say that word? It could be that as well.
Yeah.
I don't want to get it wrong. Look.
How would you pronounce that word again?
Let's talk about the weather. We've got storm, have we? Or we talked about the weather? Look.
Anyway. It's a bit frigid.
Bit frigid outside, yeah, definitely. Right. Come on. We're going to go all over the place now, aren't we? We're going to go. What is it?
Every week you're like,
we're going top shelf now.
Exactly. Well, every week you're like, I don't want to talk about Bigfoot. We're talking about something else. I'm like, okay, fine. So we're talking about something else, and you're like, well, of course, it's the whole point. We're supposed to go everywhere, right? We're talking about Valentine's Day.
Literally everywhere.
And we're talking about Marvel Comics, and we're going to talk about the making need. I don't see the problem here. We're talking about holes getting filled, apparently.
Filling holes. It's gone from Hallmark, like the card section there, and there's like the top shelf stuff now coming into play. Maybe we should just leave it up there. Jean. Oh, dear, the school's cancelled already.
Yep.
To the cold and the wind chill.
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding? Here in North Texas is like, so here's the problem. Like, if you want snow, go to the Panhandle. Like, that always gets snow. North Texas, though, not so much. It always gets cold for like 2 weeks or so. Late December, early January, sometimes as late as March. But there's 2 weeks where it gets cold. We're finally in a really cold snap. And it's like, the problem is, like, we have all these built-in days for snow and weather. And, of course, we almost never use them. So any chance, it's like, is it cold? All right, shut those schools down. It's like, children, go frolic in the 1/4 inch of snow.
It happens here. Literally, we get a light dusting. It's the problem with also people getting into school. Some of the teachers who, you know, maybe live out in the country or whatever, and yeah, it's so ridiculous. I mean, as a kid, I had to go to school. You had to go to school, whatever the weather. Just did it, and then we all got, you know, health and safety and all that stuff, and it made life harder in a way.
Well, it's like up north. I mean, you know, people laugh at us. They're like, "Why are you shutting down school for 2 inches of snow?" And it's like, well, here's the problem. It's not just 2 inches of snow. It's like nothing we have is built for this, right? It's now we laugh at everyone when they're shutting everything down because people are dying from 80, you know, when it gets over 80 degrees. I'm like, they're like, it's a heat wave. It's not. This is our third week of 97-degree temperatures down here. We're laughing. We're like, please, that's a winter down here. You know, it's just you're not. It's like it's what you're not really made for. You don't really. You don't. Your society isn't. You know, our society isn't really designed for extreme cold temperatures because it happens so rarely. In the same way, someone from Chicago, if it gets, you know, gets above 100 degrees, they're all freaking out. I get it. They don't have the AC to compensate. They don't do the things needed to compensate for that because they're built for the winters. I get it. You know. That being said, I wish the Yankees would come down here and get their weather. It's drunk in my front yard.
I just we've never talked about fetishes yet, have we? We've never.
No, we haven't. So start, yeah, exactly.
Maybe we'll get Mark on. We can do that.
Yeah. I mean, foot and mouth. I mean, you know what? Teach his own. Teach his own. Not my thing.
Gary, let's do it. Let's do it. Find me on Facebook and send me a message and come on and let's talk about your experience because we've read quite a lot about it in the chat over the months. So I'd love to know more. I'm just seeing, Jason, we've had real snow since 2007.
Yeah,
some places just we rarely get it.
Was it 2007? No, it was after 2007. We had one more. It was 2 weeks completely covered in ice. And I do remember it was after 2007 because of where I was living at the time. We actually had to leave. We had these German cockroaches come in. The thing about German cockroaches is you can't kill them, like at all. Like there's just you can't kill them fast enough. The baits. So it got so cold. We actually opened the windows. We shut everything down and left for a week. It killed all the eggs. It killed them dead. But it was after 2007 because I remember where we were living at the time. I'm trying to remember when it was though. It may not have been much after 2007. But the thing is, I also had some friends who died during that cold snap. They on Christmas. It was Christmas Eve. They were driving home and they died in a car accident. It was very sad.
All right.
Yeah, so anyway, point is, yeah, German cockroaches suck, and if it wasn't for that cold snap, we never would have gotten rid of them.
I have a funny story about cockroaches.
Please tell us.
What's the ones that you feed like to little reptiles and stuff? The little they're the cockroaches, or you can buy them from the shop, the exotic pet shop.
So usually, like we fed like these little crickets to my son's fire-bellied toad.
Little crickets.
But my neighbors, they buy cockroaches for this bearded lizard, for this bearded dragon that they have, and apparently they're super expensive because they're actually getting into roach farming to feed this bearded dragon because apparently they're super expensive. But I think probably crickets are what you're thinking of.
I think it's crickets. It's a bit of a horror story, and all
right, please tell the story.
It's something silly that I did. Okay, I do these silly things, right? This is what happened, but I thought it was for the good, but it wasn't. So I have a little log pile by the side of my fire, like a recess next to the fire where I keep wood. And so I'd stacked it up one year, and obviously when the summer comes, you don't use it. And spiders get in the house, don't they? And I'd noticed that there was this spider's web around the logs. They put the spider put quite a few webs up, and just one day I found this fly on the hole window ledge, kind of like just dying. And I thought, oh, just out of interest, let's see what this spider does if I throw it on the web. And so I threw it out, and it come out, I did like a karate chop with it and everything. And I thought, oh my God, that's amazing. And I thought, I want to see it again. It's like my little pet spider. So stupidly, I went to I'm looking for flies. I can't find any more flies like to do this experiment with. And I just went to the shop and I bought some crickets. You can see here, so I got this little box of these live crickets. I'm like, oh, what have I done here? But let's just try it because I want to feed this spider now that's living in my log pile. This is such a stupid story, but this is what happened. Anyway, I got a little cricket, and I felt really rotten as well now because I'm like killing a cricket to give to a spider who was far too big. The spider just like ran away from it when I threw it on the thing. So I thought, I can't do this. I can't do it anyway. You know, this is mad. So I thought, what am I going to do with these crickets? And someone said, don't release them. Don't, because you don't know where they're from, you don't know where they've been bred. Don't put them out into your garden. You just never know. And I hadn't a clue what to do with them, so I just put them in the freezer. And you know, and I said a little prayer. I said, sorry. I know I'm a cricket killer, but I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do with them. That was silly of me, but you know, it was interesting. I thought this spider and me were bonding, and we weren't.
You were bonding with the spider?
It wasn't love. Obviously.
It wasn't love.
It wasn't love.
It was infatuation, but yes.
Yeah. So, I don't feed the spiders anymore. Just, it's, you know, it's hard work. It's hard work.
Well, did you fry up the spider, or did you fry them up after?
No, but you know what? There is that, but I didn't know I didn't know what they've been fed on. You know, I like organic insects. If I'm going to have them, I'll have them straight fresh from the wilderness. But I can't imagine there's going to be much taste and meat on, cricket or whatever. I know they do it, don't they? Deep fried insects.
I've always wanted to eat chocolate covered grasshoppers, and apparently you can order them from Amazon, and I'm tempted.
Oh, right.
But yeah, no. So Central Florida Bigfoot stole my joke. I saw the question, what would a Sasquatch's favorite human meal be? And I'm thinking, I don't know, anyone with 12% body fat, you know, so you get that good marbling. I'm going to go with pizza. I think they'd love a good meat lover's pizza. I mean, who in the heck wouldn't? You know,
yeah.
You get it covered with meat. I mean, who knows? Or, you know, maybe they got sweet teeth. I know all primates have sweet teeth. Sweet teeth?
I'm not into the meat pizzas. Mince on a pizza. I mean, mince on a pizza. Come on. You're talking to a Sicilian here who obviously knows pizza like the back of her hand. We never put mince meat on or doner meat on a pizza or, or pineapple. Well, who the heck?
Hold on.
Who the heck?
Pineapple and Canadian bacon is one of God's great gifts to humanity. I will say this though, I can't imagine doing pineapple and Canadian bacon on or ham on like a Chicago style, but like New York style, yeah, I love it. But meat, oh yeah, you get your sausage, you got your pepperoni, you got your bacon, and then yeah, absolutely. No, I'm all for that. You put that on there. Chicago style is the best pizza. I'm sorry. I love New York like everyone else, but Chicago style, that's the thing. Straight up.
I'm just used to my, Sicilian style, what we used to have. I just noticed a comment there, sorry. Killing a cricket they just went to sleep. I'm sure when
well, they were just hibernating at that point.
They were just hibernating. Don't they do that? Yeah. There was another one there I noticed, and oh yes, fig goat cheese, and prosciutto. Very nice. Radar. Honestly, if I read that book now, the original, I guarantee I will cry. If I read that book again, it gets me every time. And I remember reading that, learning to read that at school when I was about 6 or 7. My teacher read a chapter every night, and that, honestly, that gets me there. Wilbur and Fern. I love that story. Everyone likes pineapple on their pizza, apparently. I love veggies. I love the Domino's doing a veggie volcano, and it's peppers and sweet corn and mushrooms and jalapeno and well, I'm not big on the sweet corn. It's not really my number one.
My favorite of all time is pepperoni and sausage with peppers and onions that have been diced. So not full blown supreme though. I do like a good supreme.
You want diced onions apart from
diced onions and exactly. Well, instead of like the strips, right? Like you just you want them diced, so then the tiny little cubes. Same thing,
Oh yeah, sorry, I've got you. Yeah, that's how I like.
And green peppers not the red pepper.
Oh. For me, it will be. I sometimes like a bit of gorgonzola instead of the mozzarella.
Okay,
gorgonzola. It's nice. And I like tuna. I like the chopped onion, like you do. Chopped boiled egg, chili, garlic.
Whoa. Did you say tuna?
Tuna.
Like the fish?
Yeah.
On a pizza?
Yeah. The fish that's in a tin in oil.
Yeah.
That.
On a pizza.
Have you never had that? Put some anchovies.
I've had anchovies. I love anchovies. Like I really do. Dude, anchovy. Okay, but tuna is different from an anchovy. Anchovies tastes like buttered salt. Doesn't even taste like a fish.
Yeah, but no, you'll get it. It's the combination of the tuna, the chopped boiled egg, and the chili and the garlic. Honest to God, fantastic. Try it. It's called the mafiosa.
This sounds like this sounds like a dishwater dog scenario, and I still haven't tried that one yet. A dishwater dog, if you've never heard, is sort of a Chicago thing. It's a hot dog with crunchy peanut butter put on it.
Okay.
I got people who swear by it. I am not brave enough to try.
Artichoke as well. I love artichoke. Mine is hamburger, bacon, onion, and mushroom cheeseburger delight. Is that a pizza?
Yes. I have. People do that around here.
Never had a tuna pizza. Try it. Honest to God, try it. We put some garlic, chili, chopped boiled egg. That is beautiful on pizza, especially with the tuna. It just all goes together in the onion. Did you? Oh yeah, I know. It's just one of those books, isn't it?
I can't cry for a spider. I'm sorry. It's just not coming. It's just not happening to me.
For Charlotte?
Not for Charlotte. I don't care. She's a spider.
See, we're talking about Charlotte.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, she was amazing.
She was an amazing spider, still a spider, and they all deserve to die. So I don't want anything. Yeah.
No.
I don't care what purpose. I understand they serve a purpose in the ecosystem, and I appreciate their work. All I want is for them and I to live in two very separate places. That's it.
Tracy, you have to chop it up. Chop the boiled egg up once you've done it. Chop it up with a little chopper thing until it's like, diced onion, and just sprinkle it on, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, Tracy, I'm right here with you on this.
Eggplant. I think they mean aubergine.
She does mean aubergine. I did not realize aubergine and eggplant were the same thing until like last year. You know why they call them eggplants, though, don't you?
No. Chickens lay them. I don't know. No. I don't know. Does it look like a chicken?
Yeah. When they're growing, until they're when they're fully ripe, they're that purple color, right? When they start off, they look like eggs. They look like these little
Oh,
They look
right.
like look white eggs, and that's why they're called eggplants. I've always wondered because I'm like, an eggplant doesn't look like an egg to me. Like it looks like a purple. Like why eggplant? I just discovered this at the same time. It's because they look like eggs when they're going through the process, and then towards the end they turn to these long oblong purple things. So.
Yeah, I don't know where aubergine comes from then, but it's like you say.
Yeah.
I like the aubergines, but to slice it very thin, and then I salt them for a little bit, and then I fry them in a bit of olive oil, and then put them on the top of spaghetti bolognese with lots of parmesan cheese and black pepper. I love that.
I love a good bolognese. Yeah.
Oh, it's just the best, isn't it? And the next day, when you just fry it up, I just fry it all up together in a pan.
I can do it. Yeah.
Max, did you cry for the cricket in Times Square? I don't know what the is that sport? Yeah, it's gone over my head. Love white eggplant. Why is there a different? Are they different to the paper ones?
Are they, or is it just the different stages of development? Because, like I said, they start off as these white eggs. Maybe it's like green tomatoes; they're not fully ripened. I don't know. But something
Joey
like
Hayes, sorry. Yeah, we're talking about aubergines, and Joey Hayes mentioned before about radio. We don't use the radio a lot. But I like listening to the radio. Do you not listen to the Archers, Joey? A little bit of the Archers on a Sunday morning, like the roundy. They put them all together on a Sunday morning, so you don't have to listen to it every day. You can just catch the omnibus. You just catch it all on a Sunday, and that saves you from. Aubergine is named for their colour. I guess aubergine is a colour. Is a colour, but was it named because of the colour? Was orange named because of the colour? Did the orange come before orange? What about tangerine?
Okay, I actually know the answer to this. I know the answer to this. So orange is the color that came first, but the reason we have orange carrots, things like that, is because the Earl of.
How did carrot feel when carrot came along the same time as orange? Then they went, no.
They didn't. No. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I know the story. I know this one. I know this one. So the color orange existed first. Then the Dutch, there was a guy, the Earl of Orange, actually became, I think it's Earl or Duke of Orange, became very powerful. And so because they were named after the color, a bunch of these Dutch, I guess whatever you call them, they got together because they were really good at breeding tulips and all that. They bred orange carrots in honor as a way of brown nosing, and so they did. And that's what, because orange is not a natural color for carrots. All the other, what we consider to be odd colors, those are the natural colors. They bred the orange carrots as a way of sucking up to this guy. And they're saying, hey, we got orange carrots. Your name's Orange. Isn't this awesome? And that's why they blew up. It was sort of this gift. So
wow. I have no idea about that.
There you go. But now I don't know about the eggplant, though. Hold on. Let's look at the history of the eggplant. Yeah.
Oh, no, it's a different type of eggplant. So look at white eggplant. There are different varieties, apparently. I had no idea about this. I know you can get the little mini ones, you can get the big ones. What's a clap on? Do tell. Sounds a bit.
I'm trying
fried
to see.
Eggplant with beer batter and fried much on the side. Yes, fried eggplant. Tequila's his favourite colour, Patrick Vaughan. One of them days. Oh, Joey, you don't have to be old to enjoy the Archers. Honestly, check them out.
Okay, so here's interesting. To the U.S., Australia, New Zealand, and the Anglophone Canada, it's eggplant. But to the UK, Ireland, and Quebec, and mainland Western Europe, it's aubergine. To South Asia, Malaysia, and South Africa, it's brinjal.
Right.
So I don't know why. They're related to tomatoes and chili peppers. And potato. That's weird.
Right.
In their new world. Oh, so okay, so that's okay. So it's a nightshade. Okay, that's why they're connected. Okay. Let's see.
I'm just reading through the. Yep. Hallmark Channel, Comic Con now, Hell's Kitchen. This is the show that just keeps on giving.
Yep.
And yeah, food for thought. Well, that's a BIGFOOT cafe, but we are doing it here tonight. Pickles. People into pickles. Oh yeah, like parsnips, like roast parsnips.
Cannot do pickles.
No. I like the sweet. Well, I know it's pickle, but you can get the sweet pickled onions, can't you? I like those, and gherkins. I really like gherkins. Hamburger. Don't like them on the hamburgers though. Hamburgers, dills, those little things you get on what McDonald's do. But not the McDonald's.
Let's say the clappers are. Clappers can be. Maybe that's.
Clap off. What are we on about?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the clappers are. So okay, so hold on. Apparently, eggplants originally come out of Asia. First known 544 BC.
Right.
Hold on, etymology, because this is why we care about that. We were looking at it because we want to figure out where the word aubergine came from.
Do we know what we're on about? Are we clear on this clappers or not, or is it just something I'm missing here? Jean says, I know we are talking deep fried pickles, and the best pickles are right. Okay, got you. Red beet eggs. It's interesting. Is that what boiled eggs into beetroot juice?
No.
Vinegar?
No. Oh, I'm not doing no.
I love pickled beetroots. Never had fried pickles.
Okay, so I hate pickles, so I have no opinion on this. But friends of mine who love pickles, they love fried pickles. Like they eat them all the time. I think it's the most disgusting thing in the history of ever. Okay, so I at least have an answer for whether the word aubergine is the word for the plant, and that's what gave us the word for that purple color. Or if it was reversed, it is actually the plant, because the modern aubergine is derived from the Arabic. Again, don't quote my pronunciation of this, but it's Badajan from the Arabic. So it became aubergine in English. So that's it was named for the plant. That's the name of the plant. So there you go. Now we know the aubergine, the color, is named for the eggplant.
Yeah.
Which apparently came out of Asia.
Interesting.
There you go.
Interesting. No, I don't like pickled carrots. I don't like them.
Hold on, Joey Hayes. You didn't know that that chickens are carnivorous. They're not vegetarians. They eat insects. They're insectivores and other
things. They are. Yeah, they will. They'll go through the grass, won't they? Whatever's little critters are running around, they'll have them. That's going to give me nightmares now. Jellied pickled or jellies, pig's trotters. I don't know. I have had chicken's feet, marinated chicken's feet once. They were really nice, actually. Have you ever had them? Yeah, it was a Chinese restaurant. They were in some sort of soy chili kind of marinade, and they were really soft. And basically, there's so much bone and little knuckle in there. You kind of just, getting the juices off it. Really, yeah, they're interesting. Anyway, but I know.
I just saw pickled juice popsicles. I'm out. I'm done. That's
What's that?
Pickled juice popsicles. It's a popsicle made out of pickled juice. I don't even know how you do that. There's so much salt and vinegar. Like, how does that even freeze?
I used to drink vinegar. I used to just drink vinegar as a kid. I used to just, I don't know what it is. Must need it. The acid, maybe. I don't know. Weird. I mean, we drink apple cider vinegar, don't we? So there must be something good in it, because we do think we tend to eat the things we need sometimes, don't we? Stuff like that. There's a reason why. I don't know. Gotta have mustard. Love mustard. So I think we've had a good crickets for 8. Oh, just to show off, eh?
Yeah.
Well,
I keep wanting every time we go to I think it's called Hepatai in Arlington, because my family they can't eat wheat, so we go for the rice stuff. They have these silkworms that you can get frozen. I want to buy a package and fry them up. My wife won't let me. Yeah.
Why?
Why not?
But what I know, but what do you think they're going to taste of?
I don't know. That's why I want to give it a try. I don't know. I mean, just to say I have. I don't know what they're going to taste like. How would I know? I haven't eaten it yet.
I know. Yeah, there's nothing really I can. I'm a bit funny with food. Not a bit funny, but those sort of things. It's weird, isn't it? Why do we accept some things and not others? When it's all just perception, isn't it? Of when we're happier eating the things we could make pets with, but turned off at eating the things we wouldn't touch normally. Cows, pigs. We want chickens. We can have pets out of them and everything. We're quite happy to kill and eat them, but to think about eating a silkworm or I don't know. It's weird. We're weird. Maybe it's just me.
Well, I think we're sort of a victim of our own success. Like, I was, like I said, I found this new show on YouTube. I think it's called Tasting History with Max Miller. It's really funny. But one of these, they talk about these older, cooking, and they do cooking throughout history, right? Well, they'll talk about some of these other things, like flamingo tongue is supposed to be a delicacy, but it's like you don't have to go back very far to realize people just ate what they could. The thing is, we found, because we're the byproduct of thousands of years of cultural progress, we just have all this food that we're like, this produces the most. We've bred them to produce more, so we're just eating what's commercially available versus having to eat what's available, like beaver or raccoon or nutria. Like, I mean, I know people who had to hunt nutria to survive, right? Like, finding a flamingo and eating and killing it for meat is not something that's ever had to cross my mind. But imagine if you're hungry, flamingo, it's a big giant bird, right? Manatee is supposed to be really succulent as well. But again, it's like okay, I get it's a sea cow, but at the same time, it's like, but I don't need to, because we have land cow. Why would I bother? Although I am tempted. I want to know what they taste like, because like it's surf and turf at the same time. They're sea cows, right? So I mean, it's both surf and turf.
I thought you said something else then. Sorry.
Okay.
It's okay. Paul, which it grubs. I've seen those being eaten. Just, I don't know.
Is that
dead, maybe the white ones?
The white ones with the red, with like the red. Yeah, we have those here too. I've never. They turn into June bugs. We used to fish with them though. The bass love them.
Now this is interesting. Mountain lion is great eating, but would you eat a what do you call those cats? A bobcat. Would you eat bobcat? Cat and lion. Is there a difference? Bobcat and lion.
Oh yeah, they're two different things entirely.
Lions and tigers, are they different? Are they?
Yeah.
Are they? All right.
Yeah. Now I will say this: I wouldn't necessarily eat predators. They tend to have more, if you're having to. I mean, if you're hungry, you'll eat anything. But you tend to want to avoid predators and scavengers because they have more, parasites and things.
Chocolate covered grasshoppers taste like Kit Kats rolled in dirt. Some people like the textures more than the taste. Well, I think we've covered a lot tonight.
We have
definitely from love to insects to comics to
insects and love, and then insects and food, and the history of the aubergine.
Yeah, never knew
I
that.
think it's a successful night to me. We solved everyone's emotion, problems with their relationships. We've explained the history of the eggplant. We've talked about comics, and we've talked about bugs, both in relationship to love and eating. I think this is as successful a show as it gets.
Yeah. You could see I had that love for that spider, and it all went wrong.
Exactly.
And I didn't have the love for the crickets. Love's complicated, so be careful what you do about it, and don't put any crickets' lives at risk just for a spider that's probably just gonna walk out your house and your life before you know it. And that's
spiders. They're not. Spiders are not in it for the long-term relationship. They just aren't.
They're not. It was kind of cupboard love, I think. It was just palling up to me because it was getting the flies. But when I ran out of flies, he didn't want to know. But yes, Mark, me too. Kind of gets like that when we start talking about food. Oh, hi Vincent. We're going now. I hope you're all right. And your day hasn't been too bad. Guys, thank you for popping in tonight. Hope you have a good evening. It's still the night's still early for some of you. For me, it's not Valentine's anymore. It's Monday morning, and I'll be going to work in a few hours. But thanks, Jason.
No, thank you.
Shall catch up again next time. Thanks to everyone in the chat again, and all your questions and suggestions. I'll see you again on BIGFOOT Odyssey on Wednesday for the researchers report. Until then, have a good week and good night.